Hello everyone, Wolfrunner25 here, back with another Warframe video, and today we're going to talk about the unstoppable, undying, invincible Nidus. He is another excellent tank frame that synergizes well with his abilities, and the build for this is honestly pretty simple. I don't use his augments because I don't particularly find them to be that useful, because after 6 form I put into them, I really don't feel like re-rolling anything, especially when it comes to the Umbral mods that require a lot of polarity cost. So with my build, I do Steel Charge, Cunning Drift, Stretch, Umbral Fiber, Prime Flow, Adaptation, Hunter Adrenaline, Blind Rage, Transient Fortitude, Umbral Vitality for the Arcane Guardian, and I'm going to provide some footage when I'm done explaining this. It's going to last for about 5 minutes, but I thought I would present the build first. The Umbral mods are exactly necessary if you have not done the War Within, or not the War Within, I'm sorry, the Sacrifice quest yet. You will get those when you complete the Sacrifice. Arcane Guardian isn't really necessary because he already has a lot of standard armor as it is. Adaptation, I actually would honestly suggest that because it just makes him more of a tank unless you're really good at keeping your stacks. Hunter Adrenaline, that's going to allow you to maintain consistent energy, so he does not need efficiency. I cannot stress that enough. Nidus doesn't need efficiency because he's getting hit all the time, he has no shields, he's just going to be gaining energy consistently. He doesn't, if he's getting hit, he's going to be gaining energy no matter what level the enemies are, unless they're just like completely, extremely low level. I went on a hour-and-a-half solo run with him, but I've seen people with Nidus go as long as 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, where the enemies are almost close to like level 1 to 1000, simply because of if his virulence hits 5 enemies, it causes a massive damage spike, and it's insane the amount of damage that Nidus can do purely solo. If you want somebody to run solo with, definitely run Nidus. I don't suggest him for Index because it requires damage over time with him building stacks. Adaptation, maybe that's not entirely essential for you either, because if you're fighting low-level enemies and they can't do a lot of damage to you, then you're not going to be able to build up your energy quick enough to keep your stacks going. But if you're primarily relying on weapons other than his abilities, then yeah, you can go for Adaptation or Arcane Guardian. And Arcane Guardian, that's for if you're a avid Eidolon Hunter, which I try to be, but this is the basic build for him. I'm going to go over everything that I used in the run. I'm going to leave 5 minutes of watch time, and then it will fade out. So this is my build for him. I really don't want to run any other kind of particular build for him because, like I said, I don't find the augment mods to be that useful. Maybe the only thing that I could do, because of the current way that I have all the polarity set up, is if I knew I wasn't going to do a long run, is still have Umbral Vitality on, but the fiber, maybe take that off and replace it with an augment. But I just, like I said, I haven't seen very many people use his augments, and Nidus has kind of been on the back burner since with all the new frames coming out, like Wisp, Gauze, Grendel. There's just so many tank frames in Warframe now that it's just become like really big competition of who can last the absolute longest. This is my build for him, so if you want, you can copy and paste for this. In the Prime Flow, you don't really need the Prime version of that. As for the cost of some of these mods, where you want to get all these, like I said, they're Umbral mods. They come from the Sacrifice quest. Adaptation comes from doing arbitrations. Prime Flow, you can buy that from Barrow when he has it, when he comes around the solar system. Transient Fortitude, Corrupted mod from doing vault runs. Blind Rage, Corrupted mod from doing vault runs. Hunter Adrenaline, I think you can get that when the ghouls come around on the plains of Eidolon. Probably buy it for like 5 platinum on the market if you really don't want to grind for it. Stretch, everybody has that. Steel Charge, everybody should have that. The Drift mod, you can do that from doing the little puzzles. Maybe eventually I'll get to that one day and make videos on that. Like I said, this is my build for him. I'm going to show you the weapons real quick. If you want to click off, that's fine. I'm going to show you the weapons real quick that I use in the run. So, first weapon up is Phage. With a Riven disposition of 5, it has, my current Riven has plus damage, plus status chance, plus ammo maximum, minus 53% damage to infested. So it's kind of a pretty good high status powerhouse. Vigilante armaments, Riven, Prime Point Blank, Blaze, Contagious Spread, Shell Shock, dual status mods, all that good stuff. I have multiple builds for different factions, but that was the build for it. If you don't have a Riven for it, just try and go for 100% status. Get all the dual status mods. Don't worry too much about crit chance and crit multiplier. It's more of a status weapon since it's a beam weapon. It helps a lot with high level enemies. As for the secondary I was using, it is my Shaftatron 3000, aka Rattle Guts. I have a Rattle Guts Riven for it. Plus slash, plus crit damage, minus status duration. They keep nerfing the Riven dispositions on these, which I don't blame them for, but they can be pretty overpowered. Prime Target Cracker, Prime Pistol Gambit, because it's meant to be a crit-based weapon. Hornet Strike, Lethal Torrent, gives a little bit more fire rate. Jolt, Pistol Pestilence, dual status. Spell Diffusion, gives more status because of the multi-shot. As for my melee weapon, Conditioned Overload I feel is still kind of king. I haven't really tried out any other new melee weapons that are crit heavy since the new melee update, since I am currently recording this when Empyrean is out. But I will say one thing, definitely if you're going for a status weapon, have Healing Return on. That's going to help a lot with Nidus, because for each status type that's afflicting the enemy, restores 11 health per status type affecting the target. So that, say if you're spamming your larva, you're already at max stacks, you can just hit all those enemies in one big glob of damage of Healing Return and just gain a bunch of health back. This is all pretty basic when you come to a status-based weapon. This actual weapon is a Zaw. It is a Plague Keywar Zaw from when Plague Star comes out. If you don't know what Plague Star is, look it up. You definitely want to be on Warframe when that comes around. My Riven is attack speed, melee damage, minus puncture. I know the minus puncture might be kind of controversial, but because I get the melee damage right back, it really doesn't matter that much, and it's not really meant to be a puncture type weapon. So that's it for that. As for your Tenno class, I was running Zeneric because, as I said, if you're too much of a tank, you'll actually find yourself struggling to sometimes get a certain amount of energy, so I ran Zeneric with it. You don't necessarily have to do that if you want to make sure. If you don't have all that, if you want to do those long runs and you don't have the Arcane Guardian or the adaptation, if you want to replace that armor with health recovery, you can go Vazarin because of Protective Dash. I tell everybody about this. Allies hit by Void Dash are granted immunity from damage for 5 seconds and healed over 60% over 5 seconds, and this can be spammed. You can spam the hell out of this. So, Naramon, Madurai, Unairu, I usually don't run those. I usually just keep it to Zeneric or Vazarin. Pretty simple when it comes to Tenno class for him. As for my companion, I was running my Smedica Vat, Tech Enhance to give me a little more crit chance, Maul, Prime Dynamo Instinct, Prime Pack Leader. You don't need necessarily the Prime variants of these mods, it's just something that's suggested. Medipick Hit, Link Health, Link Armor because he's got high health, high armor. Fetch, he'll bring in energy orbs since Zeneric will help you regain more energy. Deck Assault, that's going to help with survivability of your Kavat, and Charm, really helpful for your Smedica Vat. The last thing that I would like to cover before I show the footage is your gear wheel. Definitely, always do it. When you're doing rescue missions, you get these things called specters. You'll get specter blueprints. I have a Octavia Spectre with an Arcaplasmor. I think it is a Catch Moon for my secondary on it, and then a Redeemer Prime for the melee for her. The reason for Octavia Spectre is because she provides a lot of buffs, and because she has the Arcaplasmor on her, she will apply more status effects, therefore making Healing Return a lot more efficient along with Conditioned Overload. Specters act as another bullet sponge. They act as more attraction to the enemy, so that way you're sure that you're not having to take as much damage. And Octavia, like I said, she has a lot of buffs, she has ways to distract the enemy, and that's honestly about it. If you guys have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comments section below. I stream every single Sunday and Wednesday. I'm on the Xbox One platform. I do all sorts of giveaways. I got a big old store. And once again, I hope you guys found this video useful. Enjoy the footage, everybody. And remember, strive proudly and howl loudly. Good night, everybody.